Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine, be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा।
as people are still coming in slowly, may I invite Nayaswami Gyandev ji up here. And I will introduce you and then you will start with a prayer. Yes. So Gyandev ji doesn't need any introduction here to any of us. Level 1, after the first class, people are circulated the video of energization exercise. But still, it's a formality, so let's do an introduction, formal introduction. Nayaswami Gyandev he's a teacher for meditation and yoga for last 40 years. And he's a disciple of our Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda. Gyandev ji is a Kriyacharya. He is also the worldwide director for Ananda School of Yoga and Meditation. And he, along with his wife, Nayaswami Diksha, they both live in Ananda Village in California. They both run that school together. Nayaswami Gyandev ji is also a co-founder of International Yoga Alliance, which is an organization, it's an association and certifying body for yoga teachers around the world. Many of us got accredited through that. He is also a sought-after teacher, speaker, and he speaks on a variety of subjects, including Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata. He offers several spiritual classes on ananda.org online, so it's accessible for us also. He is a master storyteller and a writer, and I can vouch for that. I have started reading his book, the latest, the released one, Hidden Stories of the Mahabharata. We all know Mahabharata is such a complex and so intriguing story, but he's done it so beautifully. The flow, simple language, and always linking it to what Master said about each character, about each situation, how he described it. So it's a beautiful, please do read it. Right now in India, it's available as the ebook. Please order it. Okay, he has authored several Ananda Yoga books, and one is displayed there, Spiritual Yoga. It's a beautiful book there. And the most recent book, as I mentioned, The Hidden Story of Mahabharata, it's a treasure trove of spiritual wisdom and talks of the inner battles of every spiritual seeker. And last but not the least, he's also a PhD in applied mathematics from Stanford. So, please.
I know that PhD stuff is just for humor. True, but it's still humorous. Well, it's very much an honor for me to be here and a delight. This is the first place that I ever taught a class in India. And I don't know when it was, but more than 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I'm not sure how long we've been in this facility, but it's a joy to come back here after quite some time not being here. Let us begin with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru, Paramhansa Yoganandaji, saints of all religions, we bow to all of you. O great masters, we thank you for the blessing of sharing this time together, of sharing this life together, that we may all come to know all that you have come to show us, that we are yours, that we are God's, now and forever. Om. Peace. Amen. So let's have a little chant and meditation. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, 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 Hare Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Meditate for about 10 minutes. And since our topic today is stories from the Mahabharata, really consciously draw the blessings of Lord Krishna, but also Arjuna, who was our guru many years ago. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Amen. So again, oh, there we are. It's quite a joy for me to be here, and the irony is not lost upon me that here I am, an American, about to speak with a whole room full of Indians about the Mahabharata. But that's my favorite story. And Jayanti mentioned my book, and it's just came out in November, and I'm hoping that the Indian version of it will come out this year, maybe not too long from now. We'll see. But it's been a great joy I've been telling the story of the Mahabharata ever since I came to India for my first time in 1988. And for reasons I never really understood, when I got home, I had to read the Mahabharata, although my trip to India had nothing to do with the Mahabharata. It was just visiting sites associated with Master's life. And there weren't any stops on there that were particularly Mahabharata related, but I just had this passion to read it when I got back home and started telling stories, and it grew and it grew and it grew until it became almost a way of life for telling the story. And it had been my dream after many years of telling the story, small versions of the story, one evening or two evenings, that people would ask, when are you going to record something longer? They wanted an audio recording. Actually, they wanted a video recording, but I said, absolutely not. I know what trouble that would be. Audio is much easier. So I was working on developing an audio recording last year when Crystal Clarity, Ananda's publisher in the US, got wind of it, and they say, I'll bet you had a script. Script is a lot like a book. We would like to publish a book. So that's how this came into being. And the audio book doesn't yet exist, but it hopefully will this year. And anyway, when the Indian version of this comes out, it will have some corrections in it, so it'll be better. I wanted to bring a lot of copies of this, but for one reason or another, I wasn't able to. But I'd like to present this copy to Ananda Gurgaon. Well, as you know, Master pointed out that the story of the Mahabharata, although it has historical basis, was remodeled by Vedavyasa to be an allegory for our own lives, for our own spiritual growth. And Lahiri Mahasaya first started this in modern times of a correspondence between the characters and certain qualities within us. And Master built upon that in his commentary on the Gita, but he didn't really explore that much of the Mahabharata outside of the Gita. A little bit here, a little bit there, but not so much in the same context as he was telling in the Bhagavad Gita. So part of my desire to do this related to the fact that Master's teachings very much correspond to other parts of the Mahabharata, and I wanted to bring that more into light to add body to the story, which is a story that doesn't really need any embellishment, but it helps us understand more how that story relates to our own lives. And in this short period that we have together here, I'd like to tell a couple of those stories and just highlight some of what a little bit about Master said about them, or Swami also commented on them. There's so much that one could do. I could be here for weeks and months and still not exhaust all the possibilities, but we'll have to be content with a small amount of time. You know, one of my favorite parts of the Mahabharata, and part that touches me most deeply, happens before the war, when the Pandavas have come out of exile and they say to Duryodhana and his friends, "We'd like our kingdom back, please," as per the agreement of the terms of the game of dice. And of course, the answer is that is no dice. We're not going to give you anything. That, in fact, Duryodhana said something very interesting that has a lot of significance for us. He said, "No, I will not give the Pandavas even the 5 villages they were willing to settle for. I will not give them so much land as can be covered by the point of a needle." And Swamiji pointed out that this is exactly what's happening with us, that our spiritual nature is perfectly willing to accommodate the material side of our nature. Oh, sure, we can coexist, no problem. We can enjoy our inner self and the outer world. There's no contradiction here. However, the material side of our nature, Duryodhana, represents material desire. The material side of our nature knows that if the spiritual side of our nature gains so much territory as cannot be covered by the point of a needle, it's the beginning of the end for material fixation, you could call it. Doesn't mean we could never enjoy the material world, but we will not enjoy it in the same way that we are accustomed to enjoy it. And the material side, the egoic side of our nature, sees that as a great, great loss and will do anything. And it's interesting that I think most of us, perhaps all of us, think, no, I wouldn't do that. I'd be happy to have both sides coexisting, no problem. And we don't know, we don't realize what's at stake. We realize intellectually, but the heart doesn't realize fully what it will be like to step out of ego consciousness altogether into soul consciousness. As Swami, she said often, he said, you can be perched on the verge of samadhi and pull back. And pull back because that world is so big. It is so unimaginably big. He said it's like we have been a caged bird all our lives, and somehow the door of the cage gets open for us, and just out of curiosity, we might flit to the doorway and look out at that wide world out there and say, I'm comfortable here. I know that's unknown. Who knows what's out there? And we think, but it's our soul nature. This is where we're intended to be. And yet We can pull back time after time from that freedom. So one of the stories that really touches me the most has to do, of course, with the central tragic figure of the Mahabharata, who is Karna. Poor Karna. That he represents attachment. Master said, and attachment is basically a good quality gone bad, gone in the wrong direction. And after the Pandavas come out of exile and demand their kingdom back, war just seems to be unavoidable. Duryodhana has refused the offer of just 5 villages, and Yudhishthira just says, Krishna, how can we avoid adharma? Going to war with our own relatives is adharmic. How can we avoid this? And Yudhishthira, all his life, of course, has been so dedicated to Dharma. He was son of Dharma, and he doesn't want to be going the wrong way. And Krishna understands. And he said, okay, I will go. I will go to Hastinapur, make one last plea for peace. Now, in his saying this, of course, we need to realize why Krishna was born into this world. He was born to cause the war. That was his job description, to make sure nobody messed it up by making peace. Because the evil Asuras who had incarnated in this world, who had incarnated among the royal families of this world, so what's happened to us, isn't it? They're ruling this world. And his job was to clean it up. Come on again, Krishna, come on again. We need you to come again. Well, Babaji says, hey, wait, I was Krishna. I'm here now. You don't have to wait. Just get in tune. Just get in tune. So Krishna made a solo trip with his friend and kinsman Satyaki to Hastinapur to try to make peace. And of course, his efforts to make peace did not succeed. That again, Duryodhana just would not yield. And even though Duryodhana was not sitting on the throne, material desire was not sitting on the throne, his father, the blind king, Dhritarashtra, who represents that aspect of our awareness that merely interacts with the senses, sense mind or blind mind, Master called it, that he was a puppet, essentially, of his son, of Duryodhana. And Krishna made the eloquent plea for peace, and Duryodhana just completely shut it down, would not have anything to do with it. Finally, in fact, Duryodhana and his brothers and Karna had walked off in outrage over what the elders, not just Krishna now, but the elders were demanding of him that he give back the kingdom. He walked off and gathered his followers around him, and he said, let us go back in and seize Krishna. As without Krishna, the Pandavas will be powerless, like snakes whose fangs have been broken. And so they all came back into the assembly hall, where Krishna and the Kuru elders and many kings who had come to fight for Duryodhana had gathered, and they fanned out and began to encircle Krishna and get closer and closer to him. And Krishna just smiled and he said, you think me to be alone, O ignorant one. Well, here are Brahma, Shiva, and all the great rishis. And he burst into laughter. And all those beings emerged from his body, clothed in fire and brandishing terrible weapons, Fire, flames, fear leapt from his eyes, and every part of his body began to grow to tremendous size. The earth began to tremble, the oceans churned, celestial drums began to beat, flowers rained from the heavens on Krishna. Duryodhana and all his followers were terrified, and they just fell to the floor and closed their eyes and curled up in sheer terror. And then Krishna withdrew that divine vision back into his human body, and there was complete silence in the hall. And Krishna just began to slowly walk out of the assembly. The only sound was the sound of his footsteps. And King Dhritarashtra stood up and said, wait, Krishna, wait, do not be angry with us. You have seen what has happened here and how I've tried everything I could to convince Duryodhana to make peace. And everyone knows that I hold no anger toward the Pandavas. I've done everything I could. Don't be angry, Krishna. And Krishna said to the entire assembly, yes, all of you have seen how King Dhritarashtra describes himself as powerless. With your permission, O king, I now go back to Yudhishthira. And he walked out of the hall, followed by Satya-king. But he didn't leave. He didn't leave Hastinapur. He had one more attempt at making peace. And he took Karna in his chariot to a place just outside the city. He got down out of the chariot and began to walk arm in arm. And Krishna said to him, Karna, you are a great soul. All your life you've sought to learn truth. You've sat at the feet of the wise. And so you have learned what the scriptures have to say and the subtle conclusions that they make. And you know that the Vedas say that he who is born of a maiden becomes the son of the man she later marries. Karna, you were born of a maiden, the maiden Kunti. Therefore, you are the son of Pandu. You are the eldest Pandava, the rightful king. Come with me, Karna. Come back to your brothers. They and I will install you on the throne, and your praises will be sung in hymns and chants beyond number, surrounded by your brothers like the moon by the stars. Rule the kingdom. And Karna was shocked. He said, I am the son of Pandu? The Pandavas? My mortal enemies? Are my brothers? How can it be so? And yet, since you say it, Krishna, I know it is true. And I know you say it out of love for me. But I was raised in the Sutta caste. And he just stood silent as the truth of what Krishna had revealed to him sank deeper into his heart. And he said, Duryodhana has been faithful to me all these years. He's been my loyal friend. Attachment, material desire. In fact, material desire, attachment is the foundation for material desire. He said, I cannot desert Duryodhana. I cannot betray his loyalty, nor can I betray my adopted parents who raised me as their own, who gave me their love. I cannot turn in some other direction, claim Kunti as my mother, and reject those who raised me as their son. I cannot do what you ask, Krishna. The world's kshatriyas have gathered to meet their glory. Do not let them die miserably of old age. Let them win eternal fame in this battle. Fame, that is the wealth of kshatriyas. All I ask is that you bring Arjuna to me for battle. And I ask that you not reveal this conversation to anyone, for if you do, I will give the kingdom to Yudhishthira. And Yudhishthira, I will give the kingdom to Duryodhana. Yudhishthira is fit to rule this kingdom, surrounded by his 4 mighty brothers and with you as his counselors. He will rule righteously. Just do not tell anyone of this conversation, but bring Arjuna to me. And Krishna said, Karna, I am offering you the world. It is yours to rule. Do you truly not wish to have it? Karna said, you already know what will happen, Krishna. Why then do you seek to beguile me? The destruction of the world is at hand, and its cause is Shakuni and myself, Dushasana and Duryodhana. Krishna said, indeed, Karna, destruction is at hand when my words cannot move your heart. When destruction approaches, wrong seems to be right. Karna said, I know, Krishna, that you will ensure the Pandava's victory. And I know that I will be slain by Arjuna. Krishna said, indeed, Karna, go back now and tell Bhishma and Drona, Kripa, that the time has come. Let the battle begin in 1 week under the new moon, which is right now. For that is the day ruled by Indra. Know this, Karna, that I will accomplish what you ask and what all brave kshatriyas seek. They will attain death in battle, and they will attain to heaven. And Karna said to him, if we survive this battle, Krishna, may we meet again. Otherwise, we shall certainly meet in heaven. And they embraced, and Karna turned and walked back into the city. It's an interesting one to reflect on. He had the opportunity to choose Dharma. And he had great loyalty to his friend, dear friend Duryodhana. Is that not a high Dharma? It is. It is a Dharma, loyalty to one's friends. But it becomes an adharma when it means rejecting a higher Dharma. And that is what he did. And Karna had been mistreated all his life for his low caste, Sruta caste. Even the Pandavas, who we would like to think the good guys are perfect, right? Wouldn't we? We like our heroes to be perfect. And the Pandavas weren't. They were good. They were very good. High souls. But they weren't perfect. And that actually helps us that our heroes weren't perfect. Because if they're perfect, well, how can we relate to them? We can cheer them on. We can want them to win. But if they're perfect, somehow it creates a distance between us and them. And We see they overcame. Maybe we too can overcome, especially with the help of the Guru. So Krishna left Hastinapur, went back to join the Pandavas to prepare for the battle. But after he left, Kunti, his mother of the 5 Pandavas, began to reflect upon the tragedy of the coming war. She knew her sons had to fight. She wanted them to fight. She gave Krishna instructions. You must make them fight. And yet, fighting was going to mean killing their own kinsmen. She was desperately wanted to avoid that. And so she decided to go to Karna, not knowing of Krishna's conversation with Karna. She would go to Karna and reveal who he was in truth. And she found him in the morning, standing just into the river, facing east. They're facing the rising sun, chanting Vedic hymns. And she stood in the sun and waited for him until he was finished. Finally, he finished and turned and stepped out of the river and saw her. He said, I am Karna, the Sutaputra. Tell me, what may I do for you? And Kunti said, you are not a Sutaputra. You are my son. You are my eldest son. You are Kshatriya. More than a Kshatriya, your father's Surya, whom you have just been worshiping. Oh, son, turn away from this war. Join your brothers. Let the wicked Kauravas bow down before you. Do not let this tragedy take place. Claim your Kshatriya heritage. You are my eldest son. And a voice from the heavens rang out and said, Karna, it is I, your father. The words of your mother are true. Follow her wishes, O tiger among men, and great good will come to you. Karna looked down. He looked at his mother. He said, O lady, you abandoned me at birth, depriving me of this Kshatriya heritage that you now tell me to claim. What enemy could have done me greater harm? You would ask me to forsake this battle. You would ask me to betray Duryodhana, who has always been loyal to me. He and his brothers think that I will win this war from them. But I will not be disloyal. You have only sought your own welfare all these years. You've never cared about mine. No, I will fight. I will fight your sons. But I made a vow that I would not refuse anyone who asks a favor of me. So I will grant you one. I will not kill your other 4 sons, but I will fight to the death with Arjuna. O great lady, when this battle is over, you will still have 5 sons, either with me and not Arjuna, or with Arjuna and not myself. And Kunti said, and the Kauravas will certainly be exterminated. Destiny is all powerful. And she stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. But Karna simply stiffened and turned aside. She stepped back and she said, when battle comes, O Karna, remember your pledge to grant safety to 4 of your brothers. Blessings to you, my son. Karna said, so be it. He turned and walked away. And Kunti stood watching him for a long time, having just spoken to her firstborn son for the only time in her life. Every effort had been made to bring about peace, and every effort had failed. There was nothing left to do but prepare for the Great War. So I'm going to give you something to chew on. Kunti represents dispassion, the ability to stand back from the events of our lives, to not react emotionally. Karna was her firstborn son. Karna is attachment. Is attachment? How could attachment be the firstborn son of dispassion? Ponder that. Master didn't explain it. Ponder that. But refer it to yourself, not to Kunti and Karna. How does this work inside ourselves? It's an interesting one. There are many interesting things that we can ponder in the Mahabharata. Some things that there's a little incompleteness in Vyasa's explanation. He tells you what happened, but you really want to know more. What were the characters thinking? And he doesn't necessarily tell you. And I think it's a prod for us to look inside, think, what am I thinking? How am I behaving? How have I behaved? Because the Gita, as you know, begins with a call to introspection. It begins with King Dhritarashtra saying to his counselor, Sanjaya, what happened in the battle? And he asked the question before the battle even begins. Master emphasized, and Swami often talked about how much understanding of ourselves begins with introspection. We have to set aside some time, whether you write introspection or just think introspection or meditate introspection. Take the time to look inside. Take the time to examine the events of the day and ask, who won? The Pandavas are good qualities in today's battle, or the Kauravas are not so good qualities. And it's a very valuable process to go through. I happen to be married to someone who is a really good introspector, and she's very disciplined at it, and she writes her introspections, and it inspires me, but not as much, not enough to make me write my own. But I try to reflect on the events of the day, significant as well as insignificant. But just if there were any events that had a charge to them, what was my role in creating a charge? Was it all only just my reaction? Well, of course it was all my reaction. Without the reaction, there wouldn't be a charge. And where does that come from? What desire does that come from? Does it come from the desire always to be right? Or actually, it's more always for other people to think I am right? Is that where it comes from? Does it come from I'm trying to make something happen in this world that really shouldn't be happening? Where does it come from in me? And I know many of you do this already. Any sincere devotee really does this. He looks inside and say, what was it that was motivating me to behave the way I did? And, sometimes if we can dig down a little bit, we can see that I'm being motivated by habit, by something I really don't even believe in anymore. I'm just letting habit move me through life. And it's a habit that if I just thought about it, I would have discarded long ago because there's no longer an inner charge behind it, a desire behind it, and I can let that go. And the next time I find myself in a situation like that, I'll react differently. And when I'm reflecting on it, maybe that evening, as Swamiji often used to say, before you go to bed, sit and run through the events of the day and see what you can learn from them. And the next time that happens, I'll know that I wasn't being governed by past habit. I wasn't being pushed by my own past actions and thoughts and emotions into doing something that I don't believe in. The Pandavas won today. And the Pandavas, of course, ultimately are going to win in each one of us, but it's a question of when. We all know who's going to win this battle. Master assured us who's going to win. But when is it? Well, that is something that only we can decide. And it's what the Gita is all about, is taking up, is giving us the assurance that we'll win, giving us the encouragement to fight, and the knowledge that it's all going to come out just fine. It's just a matter of when. And when is determined not by chance, not by divine edict, but by how much and how soon we give ourselves to the Guru, give ourselves to the actions that we need to perform in this world. It's just a matter of when. So one little story I'd like to end with is a story that's very familiar and dear to everyone. I would like to share a condensed version of the Gita. When starting with the point where Arjuna asked his charioteer, Krishna, take me between the two armies. Let me see who I'll have to fight. And as Swamiji often pointed out, this places us right in the story, sitting in meditation. And we start to feel what we're up against and what we have going for us. We see the contest, we're right in the middle. And Krishna drove Arjuna to a point midway between the two armies, and Arjuna began to survey the opposing forces. And what did he see but his cousins, his uncles, his beloved grandfather, Bhishma, who represents ego, his dear Guru, Drona, represents habit, all of them on the other side. And he began to lose heart. He said, Krishna, seeing my relatives arrayed for battle, my limbs are failing me. My mouth is parched and my bow slips from my hand. I see no benefit in slaying my own kinsman. It would be a great sin. It's better I myself should be killed. I shall not fight. And he sat down in his chariot. Krishna said to him, Arjuna, such a time as this, how has this come over you? It is unmanly. Stand up and fight. And Arjuna said, how, Krishna, how can I fight with my grandfather and my guru? They should be worshipped, not fought. And again, the grandfather and guru are ego and habit. They are the things that have made us, the forces that have made us everything that we mistakenly think we are. Ego consciousness and habit. Indeed, how could we imagine killing them? They're our very selves, aren't they? And Arjuna says, I'm your disciple, Krishna. Tell me what I should do. Still, I see no good reason for fighting. Not kingdom, not wealth, not even sovereignty over the gods. I shall not fight. And isn't that just like us? Tell me what to do, God. Tell me. I'll do anything except that. And Krishna smiled. He said, Arjuna, you're lamenting for those who should not be lamented for. The Lord who pervades all creatures can never perish. The body is transitory, but the self is eternal. Arrows cannot harm it. Fire cannot burn it. Wind cannot wither it. He who knows the self cannot think he could kill anyone. Why then do you lament? Now, isn't that a thin excuse for killing someone? Oh, don't worry, they'll reincarnate. They'll be fine. Oh, this is where the whole Gita turns the corner from having anything to do with this outward battle into inside what's going on inside of us. It's about, we worry about getting rid of the negative qualities inside of us because they've become seemingly so much a part of us. It'd be like killing a part of our own selves. We would be less than we were before. Yes, I know that habit is bad and this habit is really taking me backwards, but it's part of me. It's me. I can't kill that. Krishna says, Arjuna, you are Kshatriya. And for Kshatriya, there's nothing greater than righteous battle. It is your good fortune that such a battle has come to you. It would be disgraceful of you not to fight. All the other warriors will think you're afraid. Your allies would be ashamed of you. And your enemies would have contempt for you. What could be more painful? Indeed, for us, if we don't fight, our positive qualities will weaken out of disuse, and our negative qualities will be strengthened from use. What could be more painful? Rise and fight, Arjuna. If you are killed, you will enjoy the glories of heaven. And if you are victorious, you will enjoy all that this world has to offer. Stand up and fight, Arjuna. Take control of your mind. I will help you. I will give you the teachings of yoga. Through yoga, you will learn to master your mind and leave behind all attachments, all desire for the fruits of your labors. That is the way of wisdom. And Arjuna said, Krishna, tell me about the person of wisdom. What is he like? How does he stand? How does he sit? How can one know a person of wisdom? Krishna said, Arjuna, like a tortoise withdrawing its head and limbs into its shell, the wise person withdraws the five senses from the objects they perceive, leaves behind all desires for the fruits of action, and is totally contented in the self. But The senses can easily seize the mind of even the wise seeker. And if one dwells on sense objects, it becomes attached to them. Attachment leads to craving. And if that craving is not satisfied, anger arises. Anger gives rise to delusion, which makes one forget the self. With the self forgotten, discrimination dies. And there soon follows the annihilation of the spiritual life. The wise person who has set aside all likes and dislikes and who has conquered the senses, that person attains peace. But those who are ruled by the senses can neither discriminate nor meditate. Without meditation, there can be no peace. And without peace, how is happiness possible? I shall help you, Arjuna. I shall give you the teaching of yoga. I shall share with you the sacred science of how to rise above the temptations and distractions of this world, and to realize the self and to be totally merged in the self. And so he did give Arjuna those teachings of how to navigate this world, how to stay safe from its many entanglements and distractions, and how to come to know the one true reality, to know the self, to know God. Yoga, he said, is the way to freedom from rebirth. It is the state of complete mental tranquility, sense transcendent bliss, immunity to every sorrow, which is the treasure beyond all treasures. It is the pain-free state. And Arjuna said, Krishna, I meditate, but I do not experience these high states of which you speak. My mind is so stubborn and restless and chaotic. It is like trying to master the wind. Yes. Krishna says, yes, the mind is fickle and unruly, but by dispassion and yoga practice, it can be mastered. Thus will you attain union with me. And Arjuna said, but Krishna, what if I'm never able to control my mind? Will I be lost forever? And Krishna said, Arjuna, one who makes right effort is never lost. Even if you do not find freedom in this life, in your next incarnation, your past yoga practice will inspire you to make even greater efforts on the spiritual path. Pursuing this lifetime after lifetime, if need be, you will attain the final perfection. And Arjuna said, Krishna, you have blessed me greatly by revealing to me the secret wisdom of the self, but still, I ask for one more thing. I wish to see your infinite form. If I'm worthy, please show it to me. Krishna said, you cannot see me with mortal eyes, Arjuna, but I shall give you divine sight, that you may see my infinite forms, the entire universe resting within my cosmic body, and whatever else you desire to see. Behold my supreme power of yoga. And he touched Arjuna, and the battlefield scene dissolved before Arjuna's eyes. You saw the Lord of creation shining in countless forms, his mouth and eyes everywhere. And there in the center of that divine vision was the entire universe. It was bright. The whole vision was bright as 1,000 suns. And Arjuna said, I see you as everything, everyone, everywhere, blazing with a glory that is difficult even to look at. Seeing your countless forms with gaping mouths and sharp fangs and fiery eyes, the three worlds tremble in fear. I am terrified. And there, I see the Kauravas and Bhishma and Drona and Karna, and also all of our own warriors, all of them rushing headlong into your mouths. You are devouring everything. Lord, who are you? What are you? I long to know you and to know your divine plan. The voice came from everywhere and from nowhere and said, I am endless time, the destroyer of all. Even if you do not fight, all those warriors will perish. I have already slain them. But arise, Arjuna, be my instrument. Fight this battle. You shall prevail. And Arjuna bowed down even lower, and he said, truly, you are the Lord of all. You are omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, the all in all. Please forgive me for ever having treated you as a mere human friend. My Lord, I am so grateful you have shown me all this, but I am terrified. Please resume your form as Krishna. The voice said, fear not, Arjuna. Behold once again my human form. And the vision withdrew back into the body of Krishna, and Arjuna could begin to breathe again. He said, seeing you back here now, my Lord, I feel more my normal self again. Krishna said, it is very difficult to see my cosmic form, Arjuna. Even the Devas yearn for it. But rituals, charity, austerity, intellectual knowledge, even following the scriptures, those are not enough. The only way to know me is through unswerving devotion. He who works for me alone, who makes me the goal, who is devoted to me and not attached to my creation, who holds ill will toward no one, that devotee comes to me, Arjuna. Arjuna, only by following your inborn dharma can you attain the highest. And as a kshatriya, your dharma is to fight. Even if you say, I will not fight, still your own nature will compel you to fight. You cannot avoid it. And so it is with us. Our own nature will compel us to fight. And we're already fighting, but it will compel us to fight even harder because we know on some level that unceasing bliss is our birthright. We might not know it's our nature, but we know it's our right to have it. And so we will never rest. We will never rest until we find it. Our own nature will compel us to fight. So Krishna said, act therefore, but dedicate all your actions to me. Leave the fruits of your actions in my hands. Absorb your mind in me, Arjuna. Resign all things to me. Become my devotee. Bow down to me. You are dear to me, Arjuna, so I do promise you shall attain me. Arjuna slowly got to his feet once again and once again looked across the battlefield, but this time his eyes blazing with fierce determination. Krishna said, Arjuna, have you absorbed this knowledge? Have your delusions been destroyed? And Arjuna said, my delusions are destroyed, Krishna. Through your grace, I've regained the memory of my soul. My doubts have vanished. And I will do as you ask. I will fight. And so ends the Bhagavad Gita. And so began the apocalyptic battle of Kurukshetra, from which I will spare you. Because you have to fight that yourself. So let us do our arti. I'm told we won't have individual blessing today. We'll have group. So let's close our time together with healing prayers. Just try to feel the presence of God inside of you, as well as all around you. And call into that presence thought of loved ones, of guruvais, of spiritual seekers everywhere. Of this entire planet, which is in such need of healing. physically, mentally, spiritually. Let's offer ourselves as instruments for God's light to flow out in abundance, to flow out in joy, to flow out in love. Let's pray together, Divine Mother. Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all these thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in their bodies, in their minds, and in their souls. Feel the grace of the Master's Divine Mother flowing through us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Amen.
Thank you so much, Gyandev ji, for the wonderful time together today. And this is just a token of gift, not just for your presence here today, for the book, for the fact that you could travel all the while and spend time with us, for the awesome videos and the talks and your yoga sessions that we've all been watching for so many years. So it's not just this, it's all condensed of all the work that you've been doing for so many years, serving Master and Swamiji. It's helped us so much in our spiritual journey. And all of that love and thank and respect is actually condensed in this gift from all of us.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for the opportunity to spend this time together. I'll know I'll be spending more time today with many of you, and I'm looking forward to that very much. And it's just such a blessing to be here with you all. Thank you for the opportunity. And in future, just remember that there is a new bit of technology out there that when you're doing energization with my video, I can see you. God bless you.
Thank you. So we'll now move to the dear room for Prasad, and then the pranayama workshop is going to be here in half an hour's time at 11:30. Thank you so much, everyone.